Greetings. This is Judy Owen with Collector's Corner. Several of you have invited me into your home to look at some of your collections. Now I'd like to invite you into our home and to show you some of mine. Let's start out with my wall of family and go here to this little bitty picture up here. This is my grandmother. She was born in 1895. She looks to me about 2 years old, so we're going to date this about 1887. She is surrounded by dollhouse furniture, and in a minute I'll show you where that dollhouse furniture resides today. Before I open this and show you the dollhouse, I'd like to tell you how I came upon it. In the Christmas of about 1975 or 6, we lived in Pennsylvania, and we took a Christmas trip, to stay with my grandfather for Christmas in Detroit. And we had to rent a U-Haul to haul a great big huge dollhouse that my husband and I had made with us to surprise our daughter on Christmas Day. On Christmas Eve, when we unloaded the U-Haul and brought the Christmas gifts in to put them underneath my grandfather's tree, we brought this big dollhouse in, and my grandfather looked at us and he said, "What did you do that for?" And we said, "What do you mean, what did we do it for?" And he said, "Well, what's the matter with the one in the attic?" Now, my mother was there at the time, and my mother had lived in this house until she was married. She never knew there was a dollhouse in the attic. My mother and I scrambled up the stairs immediately and found this wonderful dollhouse hidden under the eaves in the attic that she had never ever seen. It belonged to her mother, and here it is. This dollhouse is all original, except I have repainted, as you can probably see, because my grandmother had repainted and not in the correct colors. It is what is called an R. Bliss, made by the Rufus Bliss Company of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. They started making dollhouses in 1895, so this was a very new business when it was purchased for my grandmother. It's painted, as you can see, and it's covered with paper lithography, some of which has come off of the bottom of it here. Let's open it and look inside. Now, some of the furniture is half scale, which this dollhouse is. In other words, it's a ½ inch to the foot. But interestingly, the Bliss dollhouse furniture, for some reason, was 1 inch to scale. So it was made for other dollhouses, not for their own dollhouses that they made. I've never quite figured that out. And in my research, I found that they never ever made the correct scale dollhouse furniture. Everything that you see in this dollhouse was original to the house. On the side, which we will not open right now, there is a bathroom with a pull chain toilet and a little tub on legs. So this is my treasure, and one of the only things that my children didn't make me get rid of. So here is my little treasure. This was my grandmother's stove, given to her when she was about 5 in 1900. And according to my mother, she says that her mother told her that she actually cooked in this little stove. You could put hot coals in here. It's all cast iron. Or you could put burning wood in there. And then it's got these sweet little utensils that went on top, the wonderful little teapot, the little sad iron in the shape of a swan with its matching trivet. And of course this had to go on the stove in order to heat, so you could iron. And then here's a little sweet chair that was in the photo as well. Because I've always had a love of dollhouses and miniatures, I bought this antique cracker box, the National Biscuit Company, put it on its side because the glass top would have originally gone on the top, and turned it into what they call a vignette. This is filled with Tootsie Toy furniture from the 1930s. Tootsie Toy furniture did come in different colors, but I managed to collect all the green and gray to go in this little vignette. And as you can see, it's lighted. Now we're going to look at the big dollhouse that we made for our daughter way back in the 1970s, which I still have in my possession because my daughter has never had any interest, not when she was 7 years old, and she still doesn't have any interest in it. Here is the dollhouse, the front of it that you can't see. This dollhouse was one piece, and it was made in 1902 by my husband's grandfather for my husband's father to crawl in and out of. When we inherited it, we used it as a rabbit hutch for Honey Bunny. And then when the day came that we decided we needed a dollhouse for our daughter, and we priced them, we decided we were going to use the bunny hutch and turn it into a dollhouse. There she is in front of her new dollhouse. So we took the one back wall off of it, put the addition over here on. A lot of the furniture in here has been handmade by my husband and myself. A lot of the rugs have been hand braided. The little furniture, the little fireplace here is covered with stones from Lake Michigan, including Petoskey stones. And it has been a labor of love. And yes, I still do on occasion find something that I think has to be added, such as this 1920s hairdryer that I've put in the bathroom. So it is still a labor of love, and I'm afraid I'm still collecting. Thank you for visiting. I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Collector's Corner.